Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows What? New York Giants football. Let's go. Today's video is all about roster cutdowns and who makes the 53. This is going to be my roster prediction going into the 2022 season. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So after watching today's preseason finale, Giants versus Jets, we ultimately lost that game, but we did show some good things. I think that we absolutely have to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Davis Webb earned a spot on the roster. Also taking into consideration the injury that Tyrod Taylor just had, and also the injury history of these quarterbacks in general, we have to keep that 3rd quarterback spot. And again, outside of injuries, I think Davis Webb actually earned a spot on this team, given the performance in the last 3 preseason games in this whole preseason. So shout out to Davis Webb. But again, 3 quarterbacks on the roster, naming those guys: Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, and Davis Webb. So moving to the running back room. For the running back room, I have 4 guys making the roster, and I went back and forth in the running back room. It's a little bit difficult because we didn't see much of Breda all preseason. This was the only time we saw Breda in the preseason, and I wasn't wowed. He did show that he can get to the edge. He did show some of his speed, but I was not wild. But we also saw them play behind not a great offensive line. It was a duct-taped offensive line. Feliciano was in there. He's the only starter, I believe, that was out there. We have Hamilton, who could be starting at left guard due to injury. But as far as a whole unit, that offensive line was not a strong offensive line, especially going against the starters for the Jets. So 4 running backs in that room. Saquon Barkley's 1. I have Brightwell also making the squad at running back 2. And then when I get into these last 2 spots, Breda does end up getting in there for me because of his familiarity with the offense and with Dable. But in the last spot, I have Corbin. I have Corbin beating out Antonio Williams for a couple of reasons. And this is not a knock on Antonio Williams because it can easily be the other way around. Corbin just adds that special teams value that I believe Antonio Williams does not. And also just a little bit more versatility. He's a good pass blocker for a rookie coming out of college. He also can catch the ball, and he runs the ball very, very hard. And he is one of those guys that can be explosive too. So I like the guy. I like Antonio Williams as well, but right now I have Jashaun Corbin edging Antonio Williams for that 4th spot. So 4 running backs: Barkley, Brightwell, Breda, and Corbin. Now going into the tight end room is already slim, thin. There's no real depth there. But again, Daniel Bellinger has earned the tight end 1 spot for me. Now the next 2 guys, I have Myrick and also Austin Allen making the team. You can pretty much switch those guys around. I lean towards Austin Allen as tight end 2 because it just shows me a little bit more versatility. He's not a better blocker than Myrick, but he's also, I think he gives you a better target, down the sideline, being that the guy's 6'8", almost 6'9", and it has some pretty good hands and can move good for a guy that size. So if you force me, I would take Austin as tight end 2, Myrick as tight end 3. So 3 guys in that tight end room. Now we're going to go to the wide receiver room. If you asked me 2 weeks ago, this lineup would be different. If you asked me a month ago, it would be different from that. There's been a lot of change lately due to injuries and things like that, the way people are showing in preseason. But I have 7 guys in that wide receiver room, and it would be 6, but it's only 7 because Sterling Shepard is back, but we don't know exactly how back Sterling Shepard is. So let me just list these guys flat out. We have Golladay, Kadarius Toney, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard. I do have Slayton making the squad. I also have David Sills making the squad. I think he just earned it. Hard work. He put the catches in. He put the time in. He has some chemistry with Daniel Jones. So I do have Sills making this 53. And then Richie James being in that last spot. Now, this is subject to change. The waiver wire will play a role in this position room as well, I do believe. But just because it's just because it's wide receivers and chemistry is very, very important, I think this room is pretty safe with the guys that I picked there. So again, 7 because Shepard had came back, but those guys again being Golladay, Tony Robinson, Shepard, Slayton, Sills, and Richie James. So that's a 7-guy receiver room. Moving on to the offensive line, I have 8 guys on the offensive line right now. You can see some teams keep as many as 9 or 10, but right now I just don't think we have the depth to keep those guys. And if we are keeping guys past that 8th spot, they're going to be guys that are easily replaced. But for right now, I have Andrew Thomas, and I'm just going to go left to right. Andrew Thomas, Shane Lemieux, Feliciano at center, Glowinski at right guard, and then Evan Neal at right tackle. Backing those guys up, I have the rookie Joshua Ezeudu. I have Devery Hamilton because he can play guard and tackle. And then I have Max Garcia making the 53. And that pretty much rounds up that 8-man room. Again, the waiver wire is going to be very, very important when it comes to this offensive line. And I think that Joe Schoen is already working the waiver wire or has his guys figuring out who could be released on other teams out there, and they're going to be ready to give people calls as soon as they are released. So that'll be the wrap up for the offensive side of the 53. So we have 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 3 tight ends, 7 wide receivers, and then 8 offensive linemen. So let me just get special teams out of the way. The kicker is going to be Graham Gano, Scottish Hammer for the punter, and Casey Crater as the long snapper. So now we got the special teams out of the way. Let's get back into football and back to this defensive side, and let's see what's going to go on there. So starting with the defensive line, I have 5 guys making the roster from the defensive line. Now it could be 4. But once I started breaking down the list and thinking about certain guys, I squeezed the 5th guy on there just because of the versatility. So just going down that list, I have, of course, Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence. After that, I have the rookie DJ Davidson. And then I have the veteran Justin Ellis that we picked up, out of Baltimore. After that, I have Jalen Holmes making the 53. Now, he could not make the 53. It wouldn't hurt my feelings. But right now, I have Jalen Holmes making the 53 just because he can play behind Leonard Williams. A lot of the other guys that I mentioned are strictly defensive tackles. They can't play in. Now, Jihad Ward is a guy that can play both. He can play outside linebacker and also put his hand in the dirt and play defensive line. But it looks like Wink likes him standing up, so I didn't add him to the defensive line room. But he could easily be that guy in there, and you can kick out Jalen Holmes. But right now, I have Jihad Ward sitting in another room, giving up, what I'll be mentioning in the future. So next, I'm going to go over the interior linebackers. I have 5 people in this room as well, and you're like, 5 is a lot, 4 is pretty normal. But I like the versatility, and a lot of your special teams players come out of that linebacker positional group. And so, without further ado, interior linebackers, no surprise, we have Blake Martinez and Tay Crowder. Darian Beavers would have easily been on this list, but he's on injured reserve. It hurts, but hopefully he can heal and come back next year, better than ever. After Martinez and Tay Crowder, I have Micah McFadden. Then I have Carter Coughlin. And then after that, sneaking on the 53, I have Calitro. Now, Calitro makes the 53 off of play alone. He had a great play today. He had the pick 6, but it wasn't just him getting that pick 6. It's how he got that pick 6. He was able to read the quarterback, fall back into his zone spot, pick the pass off, and then take it to the house. In the previous game, he also was able to get interception. So the guy can make plays. He can also shoot the gap. He had a tackle for loss today. He brings some punch with him when he delivers a blow. So I like Calitro. He grew on me. I think he earned the spot on the 53. Again, the waiver wire plays a role in this. Now, if there's better linebackers available, absolutely Joe Schoen is going to do that. But right now, for my prediction, is Calitro makes the 53. So that's 5 defensive linemen, 5 interior linebackers. Now, I also have 5 outside linebackers making the 53. And of course, we have Aziz and we have Kayvon Thibodeau. But after that, I have Quincy Roche. I have O'Shane Zimenez. Right now, these guys are interchangeable. For me, I lean towards Quincy Roche. I just like the product that he put on film last year. Roche is strong in the run game and can also give you pass rush. He had a nice deflection today. Ended up being a completion still, but you can see the versatility in Quincy Roche. I don't know how he gets buried in the depth chart the way that he does. Maybe Wink just doesn't like him, but Quincy Roche is a player, and I think once they see him, once he gets in the game, he'll be able to prove that. So Quincy Roche, Oshane Ximines, and then the fifth guy in that room. The fifth guy in that room is going to be Jihad Ward. Jihad Ward, again, is a guy that can play defensive line, but also can play outside linebacker. I've seen him play more outside linebacker. Wink likes to stand him up, but he gives you that versatility in a pinch that he can always get bumped down to the defensive line and give you some quality snap play. Now, again, could they keep 4 guys in this room? Absolutely, but I just think the versatility helps Jihad Ward, and he makes the squad in that outside linebacker room. So next we have the cornerbacks. Now, I keep saying waiver wire. And when I'm talking about the secondary, absolutely waiver wire plays a role in who ultimately becomes a member of the New York Giants. So right now I have 6 cornerbacks in this room. Adoree Jackson, Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes, Cordell Flott. I also have Rodarius Williams, and then I have Darren Evans. And you see why the waiver wire plays a important role. The secondary depth is a weakness. It's a weak spot that the Giants have right now, and depending on who gets cut on Tuesday, I think we might see 4 of these guys. I think definitely make the team. Obviously Jackson, Robinson, Holmes, Flott, definitely. But I think in those other 2 spots, we could see somebody off a waiver wire, somebody that never been on the Giants, be on the squad on Wednesday, and that's very, very likely. So that'd be my 6 guys right now in the cornerback room. Moving to safety, I have 4 safeties making the 53. Team captain, or who I believe will be the team captain, Xavier McKinney. Then we have Julian Love. Dane Belton, the rookie, should be ready week 1, coming off of the shoulder injury. And then Trenton Thompson. Trenton Thompson has earned a spot on the 53 in my opinion. He put up some good tape, and also he's the best that we have after that. Earlier in training camp, I was big on Yusuf Corker, but he hasn't shown me much in the preseason, and that's why I think Trenton Thompson is the guy that beats Corker out for that 4th safety spot. Now, is Corker somebody that we can sneak onto the practice squad? I hope so, because he did show promise. He is a thumper, but right now Trenton Thompson is just showing a lot more versatility in pass coverage. He looks like he's quicker, and he's not afraid to tackle as well, so he brings a little bit of the heat too. So Trenton Thompson I have making the 53, and that's my 53 wrap-up. Now, if you guys agree with me, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. If you got some guys that you absolutely don't agree with me about, put that also in the comments down below. I'm not going to ask you guys to put the whole 53 prediction down there. I will read it if you put it down there. But again, that's just who I feel right now today, who makes the 53. And so I want to thank you guys for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.